of were almost predicting that they were going to win, and it was just about how many to see whether they could stay in contention for the playoff race. So that bit them in the arse too, didn't it?
Exactly. Well, I mean, Gary Thornton came out before the game and said we need to beat Coventry by 20-30, and we're confident we can do that. And we have the article, and everybody has framed it with the. How did that work out for you? But it was interesting actually, because Hunslet's official Twitter just went absolutely dead. There was no mention of the game whatsoever. So I don't know if they lost the password or they just happened to pretend nothing happened, or maybe they weren't even playing. Maybe they didn't even recognise it as a first team game. It's interesting actually, little story around the game, that two of the players were involved in a bit of a car accident on the way to get to the game. So they actually ended up starting on the bench, and unfortunately they came on, but one of them said to me afterwards, car crash at 1, beat Hunslet at 3. So it was a fantastic story around the day, and first of all, great they're okay, and there was no ill effects apart from the car looked pretty bad from the photos I saw, and they certainly felt sore after the game when I had a chat with them. But one of the best bits was when Errol Carter, who was driving, turns around to Liam Rice Wilson and says, "Oh, by the way, can you give me some petrol money?"
Yeah.
So and what was really nice as well is after the game, not only was the atmosphere cracking from everybody was there and everyone was hugging everybody, and I even ran down to the line to make sure I got in with the boys and got to see everyone. But then we had the end of season awards at the club, which was a really nice event because everybody stayed in the bar. We just had it there. Everyone was involved. We had some sensible awards, then some comedy awards as well. So for Hospital Pass of the Year, for biggest drain on resources in terms of the player who'd spent the most time in with the physio, which was Reece Rance. All sorts of little awards like that. It was a really fun occasion, just really lovely. Everybody sort of there together, and saying goodbye to a couple of very good friends, James Gertchens, who goes back to Australia, back to the Gold Coast, and then also Connor Kelly, who's going back to Ireland. He's been over for 4 years, and he's been absolute sort of stalwart at the club, and it's time for him to go back home and back to Dublin, and hopefully at some point we'll see him again. But it was a really lovely day, and certainly had a little bit of a sore head this morning.
Do you want to sum up the season for the Bears in 30 seconds or so? Because it's been your first season with them being on the ground announcing, but also it's been probably their most historic season to date, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting sort of thing for me, because obviously 12 months ago I was absolutely out in the wilderness. Oxford had folded. I had found out in Hamburg airport as I was on my way on holiday, and there was absolutely no prospect of me sort of coming back at that point. I was actually going to start writing a book. I had a little plan, but that all fell by the way. So I got a call in January from Alan Robinson saying, "Look, we like what you did when you were at Oxford. Do you want to come up?" And I said yes, and I haven't looked back since. I mean, from the very start, from the minute I walked through the door, really, it felt like I'd been there for years. And it's just the warm welcome I've had from everybody, really, on and off the pitch, and all the families as well, because it does sort of open all the families who go and watch their boys play, and it's been fantastic to get to know them this season. I hope we get to see a lot of them again next year as well, and that's just been absolutely brilliant. And we had the Leeds game, which was on the Friday night. That was great under the lights. It was a brilliant atmosphere, and hope we get to do that sort of thing again. Then through the Challenge Cup run, being on the stream, that was brilliant. Results then didn't go so well for a while. We had a terrible couple of months. We then had the Bradford game, which kind of reinvigorated everything. It was a proper event.
Big crowd.
We had lots, big crowd, lots of people down, lots of things going on, all sorts of stuff happening. So that was fantastic. Really busy, really great event. That sort of shook everything up, really. And then we also got the win at London Scholars, which kick-started that winning run.
4 in a row.
Was 4 in a row, which will stay on. And then the game against Keighley, which was just bizarre and fantastic in how good it was and how it had come from nowhere, and the reverse from the result the other way as well.
Yeah, and then to end on a high.
And then to end, with this Hunslet game that's been absolutely brilliant, and just the dogged determination from all the squad, and just seeing all the sacrifices people have made and all the things. I mean, there's a story that came out at the awards night of Malachi Lloyd-Jones, who was working on his uni station till 2 a.m, got a few hours sleep, then drove to Coventry, so 2.5 hours there, then got on the bus, went up to Whitehaven, played, got back on the bus, and then back down, and then got in about midnight, and then carried on his dissertation.
Did he pass?
We don't know yet, so fingers crossed. I mean, you'd hope so after that level of effort. If not, nothing else, he should get some sort of a pass for it, shouldn't he?
Brilliant stuff.
Great stuff, Tim. Very rounded view of not just that game, but the Coventry season and his time with that club. Okay, it was London Scholars 18, Oldham 46. This one also played on Saturday night after the London Salford game. So, do you want to give us the fan review we had, Alan?
Yep, so Dr. Hideous says, with few exceptions, the Scholars were fried dog shit in this disappointing end to a disappointing season. Yates, Yuma and Mubarak... Oh, I'm going to get...
Mubarak, yeah.
Yeah, that'll do. Impressed individually, as did the referee's beard, but the scoreline flattered us and the team didn't play as a team. We looked unfit, underprepared, and sometimes even uninterested in a meaningless game, with players arguing with each other instead of putting in tackles.
The most decisive game, I think, in League One this week, which crowned the champions York and saw Whitehaven miss out on the promotion playoffs, was York 32, Whitehaven 14. We had two people get in touch about this one, which was streamed-ish on Betfred's Facebook and YouTube. What did Carson and Brian have to say, Al?
So Carson says, that stream was so shitty, I can only tell that York did win. And Brian Davies said, a great day out in York. Really tight first half with the Haven defence keeping the neats out. Haven was very much one-up stuff, but they made York work hard as both teams traded penalty kicks. The key moment came in the second half when my favourite Joe Batchelor showed some great footwork to break the Haven defence and put Sam Scott over to make it 18-8. A well-deserved title for the Knights in front of over 3,000.
Yeah, very good crowd. For York, that saw them get promoted. You got to be impressed with the way they've conducted themselves this season, so they thoroughly deserve that. Okay, a record score for Newcastle, who ended the season with an average gate of over 1,000, and they finished their final game 98 points to 6 over West Wales. It was Keighley 24, North Wales 22, a late winner there for Keighley. Doncaster in the League One R League game this week it was like the curtain. No, what's the word? Dress rehearsal for next week's promotion semi-final. Got there in the end. Doncaster finished 44 points to 32 winners in a high-scoring game. Carsten watched this one on the app.
He did. So Town with a terrible start and tried to come back, but it was just not good enough. The sin bin was fully earned for a late shot to the head. Yeah,
every time I turned this on, Doncaster were lining up a kick. So when I was trying to flick between the different feeds, every time I saw this one, Doncaster had just scored. So... but well done to working to keep it close. Bradford 52, Hemel 7 was the final one. Hemel took a drop goal at 18 points to 0, I think, or 16 points to 0, which is interesting. What did Carson have to say on this one?
So Carson said, Hemel without a chance. Bulls were just too good and too strong. Can someone explain to me why they kicked that field goal? Because nobody was paying this game any serious attention.
Andy was scared they would get 0 otherwise.
I swear that Bradford let him in for the last score, just for the laugh. I think everyone knew the result on this one, but just not enough for us.
Reflect on the season a little bit before we talk about the standings.
We lost 3 games. We kind of think that might be good enough in an all year. But having said that, we shouldn't have lost 3, to be brutally honest with you. You know, you'd expect York were very good. They completely deserve to go up automatically. Even though it sticks in my craw, really. Cause it's hard to say that because we're by far the best funded team in that division. We should be strolling up, even if York have been good this year.
Are you confident there were 2 more chances that you'll get that promotion that you probably do deserve for the strength that you've shown all season long?
I would say so. I mean,
other than against Workington.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, but we've. It's a chance to mess up, isn't it? I mean, you can look at it and say, well, you're going into games against teams that are, vastly worse than you in terms of their win-loss record. but it's a one-off game, isn't it? So you've always got the shout, and you've got to win 2. There's no second chances in this game, is there? If we lose to Oldham, that's... is that it? I forget the new structure.
That's the one time that you've not got another chance, yeah. Okay, then York are champions and earn promotion to the Championship. Bradford have to settle for the playoffs, where they will be joined by Doncaster, Workington and Oldham, who edged out Whitehaven on points difference following the final round's results. Hunslet end in 7th, Newcastle 8th, Keighley 9th, North Wales 10th, Coventry 11th, Scholars 12th, Hemel 13th and West Wales dead last with no points. Okay, into the Women's Super League, one result to bring you this week. Castleford 34, Featherstone 8. We now know the top 4 will be Leeds, Wigan, St Helens and Castleford. What we don't know yet is where they will finish in that top 4, with one round of fixtures yet to play. It looks like it's based on what fixtures are left that Leeds probably will cling on to top spot, and Wigan will cling on to second spot, but it'll be interesting to see if that is what happens.
Cass and St Helens are playing each other, so if Cass win, I think they finish third.
They do.
Yeah.
They do, yeah. So it could be Wigan against Cass twice over, couldn't it, in the semi-finals?
2 wins for Cass.
Into the NRL, it was preliminary finals, week 4 of their final series. It was the Storm 22, the Sharks 6, in a game that is more focus is on one single tackle in the game than about anything else that happened in the game. I thought the Storm were pretty fantastic in the game, really, and played the Sharks off the pitch. But Billy Slater's shoulder charge is what's dominating. Has anyone seen this, and has anyone got a take on it?
I've seen it, and it wasn't a shoulder charge.
I think he's gone to shove him almost, rather than... It's not what the shoulder charge was brought in to prevent, was it? Which was players squaring up to someone rushing.
No, when you're that close to the line, then part of the tackling technique is, if you can, push him in touch. And there was an attempt at getting his arm up, but it's that close to the line.
It's the only way you're going to stop him, isn't it? Yeah, it's the only way you can prevent a try from being scored in that situation. Yeah,
because Slater came out and said, I had to shape my body so that if he steps back inside, I've got a chance of tackling him as well, but I got ended up in the wrong position. So we'll see what happens.
I think there's tackles like that every single week.
Yeah,
that are just good tackles.
Yeah, I sort of thought it wasn't really what the shoulder charge was. The outlawed version of the shoulder charge was supposed to be. We'll see him next week, I think. I don't know if we've had any confirmation of that, though. In the other semi-final, the Burgess boys got a beating. It was the Roosters 12, the Rabbitohs 4. And to be honest, and the Dogs agree, that the Roosters put up a ridiculously strong defensive effort here, and the Rabbitohs just never really looked like scoring against them. So yeah, well done to the Roosters. I kind of would have much preferred the Rabbitohs to be in the final, but this is the way we have it. In other results to bring, it was the wheelchair grand final, I think played down in Kent, but 2 Yorkshire teams took place. Halifax, who previously won the Challenge Cup earlier this year and have been the dominant side over the last couple of years in the wheelchair game, faced off against Leeds, and it actually finished up Leeds 54, Halifax 44. So well done to the Rhinos. They pick up their second title of the year after that Women's Challenge Cup thing, so that's nice for them. And it was the regional carnival, which Tim G has been talking about over the last few weeks, and we will now listen to Tim tell us what happened at the regional carnival.
Yeah, so it's the London and South side playing what they call the regional carnival, which they'd organised because the southwest side were due to play, they dropped out, so we had 3 teams, the southeast, which was my boys, and then the west of England, and then the east of England. So we played the west first, and we played 40 minutes each. We played the west first up, and a really tough game. They sort of gave it to us, particularly in the middle. We sort of were able to get a few things, and out some really good moves going on. Vince Spur in particular put some really quite filthy passes through. One to set Liam Duffy through for his second try was particularly good. I mean, we got 5 tries in that first game, so it finished 24-6 to us. But West were in it for quite a while. It was by no means a sort of walkover. It's quite a decent contest. That West of England side have played together quite a lot as well. They had a rep program going for a lot longer, so that was a really good game. It's sort of one you'd quite like to have seen over a full 80 minutes in some respects, because it would have been a decent contest. And then we had a break while West played Easts, and we got reinforcements came in, and one guy who was running late came in, Simba Mandis. he had some train problems, and then he comes on and scores 2 tries, sat on the wing. So it's just all a bit easy for him. So we have to make sure we tell him at half an hour before, a bit like my sister, where you have to tell her an hour before you want her. So we have to tell him an earlier kick-off time next week. And then we played the